Hello, James here. I wanted to film another video, and I'm on my like list on my back page. And so I was thumbing through these videos that I liked earlier, and one of them, I'm going to say this: I see why some men are passport bros, because what I'm about to show you is from two about this man that recently passed away. And the women made it a big deal because the man who passed away was African American. He was a real good known actor. Just recently, and he played in The Wire and he played in John Wick. But what was kind of cold was the way what these commentaries, what they saying about what these women said on the social media. But I'm gonna play O'Shea Deuce Jackson. He's the one I'm gonna play first. Check this out.
Building and protecting wealth is more daunting than ever. Amid global market volatility,
Black entertainment community has just lost another one of its actors, Mr. Lance Reddick. Now, some of you can remember him from the hit show The Wire, and recently in the movie John Wick. He passed away suddenly on Friday, and many people sent their condolences, and they sent their prayers and everything to this actor. And obviously, it's a sad thing, especially when there's such an untimely death. However, one thing about Mr. Lance Reddick that most of us probably didn't know, that he was married, but he's married to a white woman, Stephanie Reddick. Right now, once he passed away, on her Instagram, she shared, basically a heartfelt message to her late husband. But then, of course, Black Twitter started to respond. All right. Now, before we get into the responses, I have one in particular. She says this: Lance was taken from us. Sad music. Lance was taken from us far too soon. Thank you for all your overwhelming love, support, and beautiful stories shared on these platforms over the last day. I see your messages and can't begin to express how grateful I am to have them. All right. But the issue is that we started to see his wife, Stephanie Reddick, and here's a photo of them together. All right. Now, people have some really interesting things to say, and I want to just read this one because this one is probably one of the nicer disses, right? Like Black Twitter went all in. I won't go into that because I don't want to get the video flagged. But this person says that Lance Reddick fellow was happy as hell with his white wife. Y'all fake outraged or not? Okay. And then obviously looking at her, she, looking at her in comparison to him, people think that they're not a good fit for each other. They're disproportionate to one another in looks. That he married a lady that was very unattractive in that she happens to be white. That's what the mean comments say on Black Twitter. If that is your argument, fine, right? But I want to do this. Let's make the roles reverse. If Lance Reddick was a black woman and married to a white man, you would not get so much agony, right? You wouldn't get some people responding on Black Twitter like you're getting. Nobody says that about Lonnie Love and James Welsh. Now, personally, I am a pro-black. I prefer black people to be in with black. Not everybody thinks like me. And I'm not here to look down upon you because, you do what you want. The people that I have the deep discussions for or the smoke for are the people who say they're hard body in the Pan-African community or in the black community. Then I'll take my issues with them there. But if you're a brother and you're living your life and you want to marry whoever you want to marry, I don't have any problem. It's not my business, right? But the issue is this. This man, who you might not like the fact that he had a white wife or a white woman, I never recall Mr. Lance Reddick ever getting on a public platform saying anything derogatory about black women. Because see, here's something in Black America that we don't want to talk about. When you are in a black show Black folks think they own you, okay? Black folks think they own you when you're on the black show. You're not supposed to have nobody black. Same thing with the guy that was from on Issa Rae. What's this guy's name? You know the one guy, right? That guy that was playing Lawrence on Issa Rae. You know, he ended up marrying this white woman, and because he's in an all-black production, black people feel like, well, you know what? Because you got your start from Issa Rae, and you now have this white wife. You know, you own us something, right? That's what it is. You owe us something. And you can believe that if you want. But the reality is, and it's Jay Ellis is his name. The reality is that people do what they want to do in life. Okay? People do what they want to do or what they feel like, despite what we like. And the reality is that people have this opinion that, well, you know what? We're only talking about black men because they talk down on black women. Really? What about Jay Ellis? You know, Jay Ellis has a white wife. He had to turn off his Instagram comments. He didn't say anything. Okay. Every other black man, Jamie Foxx and Katie Holmes. Jamie Foxx is one of the most biggest liberal ass kissers in black America. Don't nobody say anything about that, all right? Or they do say something about it, rather. Okay? Van Jones. Hey, y'all got smoke for Van Jones. But these people never have a history of publicly disrespecting black women. The reality is that if you are a black man in America and you are successful, everything that you do, you owe it to black women. That's the reality, right? And let me just tell you this. I believe the black community should have some accountability towards each other. That's my personal opinion. But everybody's not me. Everybody's not Dr. Umar Johnson. Everybody's not George Macon. The reality is people go to where they are appreciated. If it's in the black community or if it's in the white community. Obviously, he loved this woman and he married this woman. He wasn't going around in disrespecting black women. And I know what y'all gonna say. Well, his wife was not attractive. He could have stayed in the black community and got a black woman that looked just like that or better. And see, everything with y'all is about looks. And every black man ain't out here worried about looks.
That's true.
All right? There's plenty of black men that marry black women that are very successful and rich, and their wife look average or sometimes below average. What you're not talking about is how you treat somebody. Okay? You're not talking about that.
That's true.
How you treat an actual man. Because good looks can only take you so far.
Exactly.
But if you don't know how to treat a man, what good is those looks?
Exactly.
Okay? It's just like being a black man with a long schlong and a nice body. But if you can't provide for a woman, if you're an abusive man, if you're not a good man, if you don't want to be a husband, what good is it? A black woman can use your looks to a certain degree, but what does a woman need? A woman needs you to lead, be faithful, be a builder, do something for the kids, right? And if this is a woman that was doing those things for him, and he was staying with her because, hey, he could have left his wife for somebody else that was younger, and he didn't. He was staying with his wife until she died. Is that why y'all mad? Because here's the thing, right? It also paints the picture or puts the mirror in the face of black America, especially some of the ladies. Oh, we can't get no good black men. We can't get this. Okay, so how do you explain this guy who's with this lady that y'all are calling unattractive, or y'all are seeing that's overweight, and he's still with her when he could easily, in y'all opinion, get somebody else? He could easily be dealing with somebody else. But y'all are saying these guys don't exist, and we see these black men every day, all across America. With, if they're not dealing with, white women, they're dealing with Asian women. And if they're not dealing with African American women, they're married to somebody in Africa. That's a big, huge thing nobody's talking about. You got a lot of African American men dealing with women, first generation Nigerian, first generation, especially in the Ghanaian and Liberian communities. You see it sometimes in Ethiopian communities. And you're seeing that these women are appreciating these guys and want to be married to them. So why don't you talk about why y'all don't want to be married to these guys then? Because it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. If they're not wanting to be begging black women to marry them, then your wife is ugly. But then if they want to date you, you too corny. Which one is it? Like, seriously. Right. Everything is not about looks. Right. And I'm not defending anybody to, go out there and swirl, but at the same time, I can't sit back and say I have not seen black men, sit back and be passed over only for folks to get mad when they get picked up by somebody else. Now you upset. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at
He wasn't the only one that said this.
we're Rand diversified. Through our different funds, we built $100 million
I'm gonna
real
make my
estate
comment
investment
afterwards.
portfolio in just over 5 years. And we did it simply.
What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Good morning. Start of a new week. Happy to be kicking it with you guys. Got a lot going on in the background. Got the sun rising over here. Paying attention to what's going on Fight Club over there. And getting ready for my day. So I got a lot of important meetings. Got the Millionaire Morning Show coming up, so that should be awesome. But also, just observing different things throughout the week. And I made a couple observations. First and foremost, Lance Reddick. So Lance Reddick is an actor that passed away, apparently either last week or over the weekend. And condolences, right? Rest in peace. Pray for the family, all of that other type of stuff, right? I first discovered Lance Reddick on The Wire, and he was the captain or something like that. Basically, he was overseeing a unit. And The Wire just so happened to be my favorite series of all time.
That was a good show back
The
then.
Wire is Breaking Bad. I recently watched the first season of Last of Us, and so that's absolutely awesome. Also, throw The Sopranos in there and a couple other series, but The Wire is absolutely my favorite of all series of all time, right? And I don't get an opportunity to really watch TV, so when I finally do, I really want to only go with the stuff that's the best. I'm not trying to watch a whole lot of stuff. When I'm chilling on the couch with my family, I watch The Wire. But the thing that was bothersome, and I don't even know why I still get bothered by certain things that happen in society, because I should already expect it. I already know it, especially with me being a content creator. I know how people operate. I know how people move, and so the nature and the character of people truly come out on the internet.
Got that right.
And people were saying, specifically black women, because you didn't hear a lot of smoke from black men except for the people that were really simping. And it's funny because I jumped in I was watching a live stream and I typed in the chat like, what he's talking about sounds real simpish right now. And everybody, I don't like that word and everything like that, but it's a real thing and we're not going to remove the word just because you don't like it. But what I heard over the weekend was very bothersome because people were more concerned about the color and look of his wife than his acting, his legacy, how he passed away, what was going on, the fact that he passed away so early or anything like that. Nobody was concerned about anything other than the revelation that came along with the fact that his wife was white and the way that she looked. And I just think that we live in such a superficial space in which people pretend not to be superficial. But that's the thing that we are. It's just inherently who we are. We are a people that spend more time on the things that don't matter and the things that are gossipy and make us feel good than the thing that add value into our life. And so when you start to think about that, right, and you start to really parse through all of the different things, because I pulled it up, right? I'm like, what is everybody talking about? I need to see what the big deal is. Isn't that the thing that we're supposed to celebrate, though? Aren't we supposed to celebrate the idea that he didn't lead with the thing that he couldn't control or she couldn't control? Because we don't know why they wind up getting married or why she wound up being his wife or what value that she added into his life.
Right.
The only thing that we know is that he was married, which is a good thing, and that he had a phenomenal career, which is also a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. And so everything else is just crazy, it's superficial, it doesn't add any additional value into the conversation, but we're going to mind it out simply because it is something that we need to address. And I think that the more that we actually have people that can add value into a conversation, participating in the conversation, we can actually get to the thick of things and hopefully change the minds and the narrative in some people's minds that would have otherwise only look at it in a negative way. I don't really care who you talk to. I don't care, if you're talking to a white girl, a black guy, or whatever it is. That really makes no difference to me at this point. Because to be honest with you, we live in a society where all of these standards were given to you by other men who see you as inferior anyway. Who's to determine what percentage of your blood makes you black? standardized perspective and then what you adopt going forward, because it's all programming. It's something that was taught to you and you passed it down, and it's a generational curse. When in reality, everybody in America, almost everybody, are mutts. We're all at some point tainted, mixed with something. There are no pure anything. Like, you know, it absolutely blew my mind when I was on a panel, and I never thought about it before, but it's something that I guess that I should have recognized, but just subconsciously, that's just, you know, a part of how things are. When Lance had mentioned, like, yo, they bred people to be a certain type of way. They bred these type of people in order to pick cotton. They bred these type of people in order to pick trees or whatever like that, so on and so forth. And I was like, wow, it's the same thing that they do with pit bulls and animals and fighters and Great Danes and all of this other type of stuff, right? And then they set a standard when certain things was happening in society, and they said, okay, well, if you had, you know, 10% in your blood of this, then you this. And now we see politicians pivoting, Kamala Harris, whatever that, Kelsey, whatever, you know, now they're utilizing their so-called heritage in order to capitalize off the idea or your emotions that, hey, I'm this percentage Indian, I'm this percentage Asian, and all of this other type of stuff. And then you got these bills passing through based off of, man, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. I think that the only thing that we really should be focusing on is the legacy that somebody leaves and whether or not they left this earth in a better space had they not been here. And that's the most important thing. It is. You got heathens, godless people holding God-fearing people accountable. You have people that has never been married and has spent their entire life being a baby mama or a buzz down, criticizing a man that was actually married. You have...
Your local Ashley store is now offering 0% interest.
He's absolutely right. And, you know, we have to come to reality. We move in a time, and when it comes to some people, whether it's us or white people or any other people, you realistically, you can't expect everybody to pick the mate that of your culture. I mean, it's just that not every black man is going to pick, not every black woman is going to pick a black man. Not every black man is going to pick a black woman and match up with them. And there's various reasons behind that. Number one, it depends on what they have in common. Number two, sometimes we don't know, like he was saying, we don't know who and what is the chemistry. Number three, sometimes some people are able to look past things that majority of us don't, that we have to pay attention to. And it's just sad that that's got to be the case, that even in death, that man, they would come at us, talk about him like that, and his wife. People are just rotten as hell. I mean, that's just black Twitter, whatever. They just rotten. That's just so that's, who cares what his wife looked like? The more important thing is she loved her husband. You know, I mean, God forbid if a black actress and she had a wife and she passed me, I wouldn't be doing no stuff like that. Like, damn, you know, they really love each other. Some people, just because everybody, just be grateful. I just don't get when it comes to black people with this topic. Not every black person is going to marry someone of the same race. And I mean, and not even probably white person or other person. You're going to have to, sometimes in the reality of this world, that's just the way it is. People choose what they do. It's like they choose their religion. They choose what they spiritually believe. They choose what type of neighborhood they live in. They choose. They choose. It's like, well, if you don't do what we do, you're not part of us. Who am I to say, as a black man or black woman, what your experience been through, under your skin color? Who am I to sit there and tell someone that, well, you don't know what's like? I don't know because I don't walk in someone's shoes. I mean, it's just, It's just crazy. And that's why I see why, I think it's good for some black people, particularly our people, some of our people to leave, because the United States have embedded us what they look, like Antoine said. That's so true. Like, go someplace where you don't have to be constantly reminded of that. And it's something what Will Smith said one time, a long time ago. He said he felt like he was a free man by being a celebrity. He's Will. But as soon as he get back over to the United States, it's like he got to put back on the chains. He said that in the interview. I don't know who it was, but that's so true. And, it's almost like you got to make it feel like you got the explanation. You don't own my explanation, but yourself and God, the God that created you. And hey, it's gonna be different. There's people that are gay. You sit. It is what it is right now. Whether you agree with it or not, it is what it is. Just leave folks alone. But some people are so, they're so shallow. That's all. It's just. I just want to comment on that. Let's go back to what he's saying.
Interest for 6 years on all Tempur-Pedic purchases until.
You have people that are doing the things that are the worst for the community. They sell drugs. They have fatherless kids. They absolutely destroy the entire fabric of what it is that we doing and what we trying to build as far as a better place. And they're the ones that are the voice of society as far as having the standards for what it is that we should and shouldn't be doing across the board. And y'all think this makes sense? The very idea that people refer to a segment of Twitter as Black Twitter, and whether or not you can be canceled based off of whatever it is that you offend, or wherever it is that you offend on Black Twitter, is wild to me. And that's why I've divested myself from a lot of these cultural norms. I live a great life, a phenomenal life, but I still observe, and I want to add value into everybody's life, which is one of the reasons why I still live stream and I do the Millionaire Morning Show. But at the same time, it's crazy that the people that are doing the least have the most to say, and we actually take their opinion serious.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what y'all think. For the bag chasers, the people that's in the Patreon, I actually have a webinar coming up on Tuesday, March 21st, 2023 at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you are in a Patreon, feel free to be able to...
Yeah, I'm going to leave it right there. But yeah, he's right. Be happy who you have. First of all, it takes a lifetime to find someone that make you feel like you're compatible. I think it's something beyond the skin, the culture, that two people fall in love. I think it's something that what we can imagine, but we have this ideal that it gotta be presented this way. If you find somebody, and I feel the same way, and I'm single, and I'm at this point, I really don't care if she was of different nationality. Hey, what's important is she's something that God knows that in my heart that I love and that will respect me and honor me and love me as the person who I am. Take me as I am, as all would matter to me, and I could take her as she is. And the hell with anybody, man. Because people that do that, they're very miserable. They're miserable, and they need to get a life. And half those people ain't, like you say, ain't in relationships. And because people who have time to be in relationships, they wouldn't be tripping on something like that. Anybody's mature enough to see that does this person got? I have my own family, spouse, significant other. Why do I have to worry about that? But anyway, that's it's dumb. So be who you are. Be happy. You don't have to please the world. The world's already screwed. People, and it's this old saying goes, an elderly person, no matter what you do in this life, no matter if it's good or bad, even when you leave this world, folks still talk about you. You can't stop people from talking. If they're gonna talk about you negative, when it's positive, because some folks ain't got no shame. They just, and they should really be shamed, but the ones should is like, you know what, you just. We see what you have, is envious and jealousy, but that's all I gotta say on that one. But
Let me show you an online website that generates automated income from anywhere you have access to the internet. Now, honestly,
I am absolutely convinced that men don't actually want relationships. Like, men want their lives as is. They want to go about their day exactly as it is, do whatever they would normally do, and just want somebody there when it's convenient for them, or, for the things they want to do. Like, convince me I'm wrong.
Well, you're absolutely right. Us men want to do what we want to do. And no, I'm not going to try to convince you that you're wrong about that. But the part about men not wanting to be in relationships, you would be incorrect. And I'm going to prove it in this video. But take a peek at what us men have to deal with in Western society, my dear.
Why should men be expected to bring more to the table than they ever have in order to please women who bring less to the table than they ever have?
Because the man is the provider, baby.
Why are women typically spoiled beyond their needs while men are typically deprived of their basic needs?
Because women deserve more.
Why do women often choose to make lists of what they want in a relationship rather than what they bring to the table?
Because it's women first. The man is there to accommodate for our needs.
What does a woman bring to the table?
Knowledge, common sense, knowledge, common sense.
Did she say common sense? Notice everything she listed was about the woman and what the woman gains. But when you asked her why don't women make a list of values that they bring to a man's life, notice she had no answer.
Can you imagine? What do you bring to the table? And the guy's like, this. Women would be like, so who pays the bills? And what does your car look like? And what kind of job do you have? And are you going to take care of the family? And do you know how to fight? Like if I was in trouble, you're going to protect me? And they'd have a whole list that you'd be checking off. He'd be like, well, you can barely keep up. And they're just like this.
Have you heard of diet resistance? If you struggle to lose weight, this might be why your metabolism begins to decline as early as age 35. After that, it doesn't matter what new diet or workout you try. Weight loss is going to be hard. Not only does your body begin to betray us after that age, but stress and other lifestyle
isn't respectful, and that doesn't care about him, really.
I'm loving it. More and more women are starting to speak up when it comes down to the topic of men getting the short end of the stick. By the way, the woman that's speaking is married with kids, so we know she's not playing the chameleon.
How come y'all are not shooting your shot in person anymore?
Because men have been told that they're creepy for speaking to a woman in public. They don't want to be accused. They don't want to be blamed of harassing a woman. Because women are on this app saying that if men see women that they're attracted to, that they like in public, that they should not approach them. They should leave them alone. So much so to now, men are in the gym, and if a woman is having a hard time with some weights, instead of helping, they're going the other way because they don't want to be viewed as a gym creep. Men only respond to what women create. And you guys have created a weirdo, toxic environment where you want men to be men, but you don't want men to be men. So men are just like, forget it. And most of them are either done dating or going overseas.
I got a question for the fellas. How come y'all are not shooting your shot in person?
Okay, number one, I get that she was talking to me when she asked this question, but I'm going to answer it. A lot of you women are just rude. A lot of you are just rude and disgusting. And if a guy approaches you and you don't like him, you'll make a scene about it. Why are you talking to me? You get all loud and obnoxious. Versus if it's a guy that you're attracted to, you kind of lean into it more. You don't have to be so nasty. Do you know how much confidence it takes for a man to approach a woman? I've had men tell me personally that they waited to approach me until I was by myself or as I was leaving the club because they didn't know if I was going to freak out on them in front of my friends. You don't have to be so nasty. Just do a nice, simple, sweet decline, like, oh no, I'm taking it, whether you are or not, and keep it pushing. Don't be rude.
Exactly. Women back in my day would turn you down with class. But these modern day women nowadays, too many of them are just plain on tacky. And then we have to deal with Miss Independent Hardhead. The caption reads, when your husband says wait for him to get home, but you want to show him that you're a strong and independent woman and almost get knocked out instead. Why the hell would you try to lift that thing by yourself? If she had turned her head a few more inches to the left, she would have been knocking on heaven's doors.
I am absolutely convinced that men don't actually want relationships. Like, men want their lives as is. They want to go about their day exactly as it is.
That's right. We want to go on about our day exactly the way it was, doing things that we want to do. And if we happen to change our mind just before it's time to do it, we have nobody bugging us because we promised that we do it.
Do whatever they would normally do and just want somebody there when it's convenient for them.
Well, because of modern day women and their ridiculous expectations, you have reduced yourself to a man only wanting you for one thing.
Or, for the things they want to do.
I guarantee you by looking at this woman, she's gotten her fair share of attention from men throughout her life up until now. And everything that she said in this short video was her describing men wanting to do their own thing now. You get the feeling that this woman gets into a relationship with a man and she wants the man to do everything that she wants to do, but she doesn't want to do any of the things that he wants to do. And that's why she made this video. There's a reason why women that look like her are single. And she expresses it in this video. She's selfish. She clearly has a problem with a man wanting to do what he wants to do.
Convince me I'm wrong.
The problem comes when people describe or want a relationship where it's just one-sided. If you want someone to give up their individuality to be with you, then you are the problem in that relationship because it's one-sided.
And it's just because a lot of you women aren't peaceful. A lot of women are stressful. And a lot of women are selfish and they still think the world revolves around them because they have this immature mindset.
Who could really blame them at this point? Think about all the things men have been told in the past few years.
Attention speakers, coaches, authors, and consultants. Do you know how powerful
Who could really blame them at this point? Think about all the things men have been told in the past few years. They get told they're disgusting if they look at women a certain way, and then they get criticized if they don't. They're not supposed to hold the doors open because women are equal and can open it themselves, but yet they're inconsiderate if they don't hold the door open. They get told that masculinity is toxic, and then women ask where all the good men are. The real question is, if one is finding that men don't want a relationship because of one's own personal experience and the experience of people that one knows, perhaps it has more to do with you.
Men want their lives as is.
And guess what? You'd be 100% correct in assuming that. Because we're done. We're walking away. You see, we've adopted what women have been preaching for the last 50 years. We don't need women. We can take care of ourselves. There's nothing to be gained by being in a relationship. So after 50 years of hearing that used against us, now we've adopted it. And all of a sudden you're upset about it. I'm not sure why. We're just simply following your lead. You got what you wanted. Let's enjoy it.
You wanted equality and now you're complaining that they don't want to be in a relationship with you. Equality also means the same. And since these men are not gay, why would they want to be in a relationship with another man? So you got your equality and now they don't want to be in a relationship with you because you bring nothing to the table. You're basically men. They use you for one thing now. Of course they do, because that's what makes them not gay. But everything else, you're just like a guy. You're not respectful, you don't give them peace. It's not the fact that they don't want to be in relationships, they just don't want to be in a relationship with you. There's a difference.
I've known plenty who've dismissed a guy because he's either balding on top or has a dad bod or double chin or maybe shorter than you are. That guy could have been the one that wanted to be in a relationship, who knows? So, it works both ways. Maybe the problem isn't always them.
Or, for the things they want to do.
And that is why men are staying single, so they can do whatever it is that they want to do without any bad judgment from anyone. The fact that it's a concern to you that they're doing this is a massive red flag. So men aren't going to look at you and go, yeah, she wants to take over my life. That's wifey material. You can't get pissed off with men being screwed over, getting smarter, wanting to take a bit more care of themselves, because you can't find a man as easy as you used to. Welcome to life.
And now to prove that men do want to be in a relationship where he benefits too. Take a look at these couples that are found in the Philippines, Greg and Wilma. Greg is so content with Wilma that they're building a big old beautiful house in the Philippines, and he's paying for it, of course. Richard and Donna. Richard and Donna designed their concrete house, and Richard did a lot of the work with the Filipino contracting company. They sold the house for a huge profit, and now they're building another house, a smaller house, so that they can live debt-free in the Philippines, so he won't have to come back to the United States to work and make money. And since they posted their house project on YouTube and it got millions of views, now foreigners are moving into the same area with their Filipino wives and hiring Richard to oversee the building of their houses. Cliff and Rue. Cliff was married to an American woman and ended up getting a divorce because it didn't work out. He met Rue online, flew to the Philippines to meet her, they fell in love and got married. They also had a house built right in her village that Cliff paid for. They now have a child together, and Cliff has no intentions of moving back to the United States. Calvin and Marilyn. Calvin met Marilyn, and they had a house built in the village of their choice. They have a 3-year-old daughter together, and Calvin's been living in the Philippines for approximately 13 years, and he has no intentions of coming back to the States. Their relationship seems to be working out so well, I'm pretty sure that they're going to stay together until death do them part. And we also have Richie Mack from Zoom to Thailand, and his beautiful woman, Elle. They've been together now for about 3 years. Richie was once married here in the United States and ended up getting a divorce too. Elle says she's in no rush to get married, and I'm sure Richie's cool with that. Now, if you've been following Zoom to Thailand, you know Richie ain't going nowhere. There are literally thousands of men who come from countries like the United States, the UK, Australia, just to name a few, and go to countries like the Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, and they meet these beautiful women who treat them with respect and dignity, and they take care of him as much as she expects him to take care of her. And these guys are living their best life. This is proof that men do want to be in relationships. They just don't want to be in a relationship with a woman like you. Hey, somebody had to tell you, and I love you, so it might as well be me. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification.
I told you. So, the women that you call third world that can't speak no English, the women that you call that, oh, that they just desperate for a green card, the women that you just called, guess what? Their prayers have been answered. They got the men that you didn't want. But there's some of you women out there that have been making TikTok videos and YouTube videos saying that they creepy. Now they got your man, and many more men are coming. Many more men are coming. I saw this back in 2013. The men are exiting. They have made an exodus. Good men. Your cornball men. Your creepy looking men. That you would give a time of day to. But look, remember the 6-figure man? There have been a few men that have made 6 figures. But there have been men that made 40, 30, 40 grand. But they can get through it online. Some are retired military. But see, some of the women that made those videos, you see, that's just the beginning. There are more men leaving. Oh, the past that what I was hearing, dude was saying, oh, it's more men leaving. Watch this video. There are more men leaving. It's gotten attraction.
Yep, you guessed it. Another talking head ad where somebody's talking about people making hundreds or even thousands per month using nothing but their computer. Let me guess, it's from selling tchotchkes like this energy crystal here.
Told you.
Or maybe even this cool earring, right? On Amazon.
Plus size women, if you ever felt insecure, if you ever felt like you was too big, if you ever felt like you was just so wild.
That's fine.
How you doing? Good, thank you. If you ever felt like you just so fat that nobody's gonna love you, girl, come to Jamaica. They love us. Let me tell you something. They chase us around this resort. Listen, if you are over 200 pounds, bring your big ass to Jamaica. Please, I'm telling you, you definitely gonna leave with something.
Be with a woman that is worldly educated, well-traveled, can bring something to the table, rather than somebody that has absolutely no idea about anything in life and really can't contribute anything outside of just being a woman.
You're being well-traveled is a giant red flag for most men, because typically, when a woman, if I look at a woman's Instagram page and I see pictures of her on a private jet, on a yacht, in multiple different fancy locations, she's in Mykonos here, she's in Paris, she's in Dubai, she's in New York, my immediate assumption is this woman is a hoe.
So here's a news story from 702.co.za. That must be somewhere ZA. I'm not exactly sure who they're a domain for, but I can look it up later. Judging by the names, obviously it's foreign. So this is a recent news story. This is online internet news at 702. I've never heard of them before. It says, ever watched 90 Day Fiancé? It appears that the phenomenon is gaining momentum across the world. Aubrey Masanko chats to Nthesbisung Ndablapo, editor of Relationships and Wellness at News 24. According to Ndablapo, Passport Bros is a phenomenon that's been around for decades. It has simply had many names. The specific term was dubbed by social media. It describes men who look for romantic relationships or marriages with women from other countries as they are unable to fund. They say they're unable to fund. I think they mean they're unable to find suitable matches in their own countries. However, the word fund could be used to fit in here simply because, the women in the West are hypergamous, so they're looking for bigger wallets. Even when they find a big wallet, they're looking for a bigger wallet. So fund might be a word that works, perhaps. It says this is generally the case with men who are well established in developed countries, moving to developing countries to find women who are more of their caliber and have similar values to them. Nthesbisung Ndablapo. Okay? Alright, so first of all, let's understand the definitions here. Passport Bros are black men who are traveling to find relationships, love, and marriage in other countries. There are white men who do this, but they're called the Passport Joes. Okay? So the Passport Bros are specifically black men. There are Asian men, more and more. There are Asian men, I brought this up in recent news stories. Chinese men, for example, who can't find women in China because they had the one-child policy for a long period of time that caused a gender imbalance. That's also happening in India. India had a sterilization program that was disastrous. I read about that in a different article. They also have a severe gender imbalance because they were discarding female babies, just like the Chinese were. There are also Korean men who are going down to Southeast Asia looking for wives. There are also Japanese men who are going down to Southeast Asia looking for wives. We needed a name for those Asian men. So I was torn between the name Passport Lows, like low maid, or Passport Hoes, but that would be H-O as in the last name Ho, like if you're Jimmy Ho or Kimmy Ho from China or from Korea, because they use that as a last name. So the judge is still out on that one, but we're looking into it about giving Asian men their own passport name. Then there are women, just like at the beginning of this video, bros who travel to foreign countries in order to get waxed up and bedded down. And those are the passport hoes. And that's the reason why we can't let the Asian men take the word passport hoes, because that's already been used. Now, some of these angry women who hate passport bros because they know that we're taking our genetic diversity, our finances, and we're also taking our resources out from beyond their grasp and taking them to foreign women in order to uplift those women. They're upset with the passport bros, so they try to say that these men are predators and traffickers and this, that, and other. No. Those are the transport bros. Those, we call them the transport bros because they transport hoes. So no, the passport bros have nothing to do with the transport bros at all. At all. We totally disavow the transport bros. It's also important that the passport bros be separated from the passport joes, because a lot of the passport joes, they go to these countries, they do stupid shit, they get caught, and then they get paraded around on television. There was a German guy named Mr. Poogie, who was caught doing unsavory things with underage or supposedly illegal underage women in the Philippines. He got caught. So no, we have to separate ourselves from them. So no, we are the passport bros, those are the passport joes, then there's the passport lows, and then there's the transport bros and the passport hoes. Okay, I hope I've cleared this up for you. She adds that there are cases where people genuinely fall in love, while others specifically target foreign women as a play for power. A recent study by the National Library of Medicine in the U.S. averaged the age gap of cross-border marriages at 7 years. Galapagos says that in developed countries there is a more prominent feminist movement present where women are finding their voices, and many are opting to remain single instead of dealing with the added labor that comes with a relationship or marriage. Okay, first of all, that's absolutely bullshit. The women in a lot of these other countries are finding themselves put in the exact same position as the women in Western countries. Capitalism forces people to work. Capitalism forces people to expend their own body capital in order to gain more resources. The problem with that is that as women entered the workforce, men began to have to compete with women for jobs that were traditionally male dominated suddenly started to become taken over by women. And a lot of the jobs that men normally would have had got also erased because of technology. You know, you have machines coming in and they will replace large blocks of men. So basically, where it used to be a man's job to go out, work, bring home the bacon, and a woman's job was to make the home and to raise the children for the next generation. Since you have to remember, a country, the entire health of the state is on live births. A country that does not have enough children being born, supposedly you have to have like 2.5 children in order to secure a household for the future. Well, a country that doesn't have a steady flow of children being born, a steady flow of marriage and children, that country is going to find itself declining very quickly, as is evidenced by Japan, South Korea, just about anybody in Europe, any place in Europe you can name, and the United States. What these countries end up doing when they're not having enough marriage and not having enough children, what they end up doing is they end up turning to illegal immigration, and they end up making that illegal immigration legal. Just take a look at my state. Take a look at my city, New York. Take a look at California. Take a look at Texas and Florida. What's happening? Illegal aliens coming in by the busloads. Now you have some trolls who are having fun with it by sending those busloads up to Kamala Harris's house. But the reality is, those busloads never ever seem to make their way back across the border. Those busloads end up getting processed. Those busloads end up becoming a burden on the taxpayer. I find it so funny when I hear Americans say, oh, I can't afford marriage, I can't afford children. And then I think to myself, Well, why is it that the illegal aliens who are coming in can afford marriage and children? You know why? It's because you're paying for it. You're paying for it with your taxes. There is also what's called replacement theory, where there are some people who claim that they feel that they're being replaced by foreigners. I would like to add to that it is not replacement theory. That is replacement fact. The government does not care about you one bit. Always remember, the health of the state is live births. The health of the state is live births. There used to actually be awards given by the Soviet Union for the woman who had the most children. She was given an award as Mother and Hero of the Soviet Union. They don't do stuff like that anymore because it's so obvious. But meanwhile, if you fast forward to the present, you'll see countries like Hungary who actually give women who have more than 3 or 4 children a minivan and even subsidize them with government welfare checks. They don't have to give you an award that says that you're a hero of the Soviet Union. No, all they've got to do is give you welfare checks for having more children. Some of you have even said this on many of these podcasts. Why is it that these women are getting paid to have illegitimate children? Why are these women getting paid welfare money to have children? I'm explaining it to you exactly why that's happening. It's because the health of the state is live births. Once you understand that, everything else makes sense. So, this has resulted in the passport bros phenomenon gaining traction. Men are finding women who are more likely to fit their narrative from developing countries where these movements may not be present. Women from developed countries do sometimes come across as combative, but you have to realize that it is a necessity. Who the hell is writing this nonsense? Women do a lot of unpaid labor, so if you are married, in most instances, both men and women will go to work. But when she comes home, she has to worry about homework for the kids, whether or not the house is clean. So there's an imbalance there. No. The Thusby and blah blah or whatever your name is. No. The way it was supposed to work and the way nature intended it was that the woman stays home and that the man goes out to work. The man goes out to hunt. He fights and kills the animals, and he brings their bodies back home for the wife to cook. Now granted, we have evolved beyond that. Unfortunately, the more we evolve beyond that as a society, the more you see the regression and the more you see the aggressive decline of society. You see, nature designed people biologically that way. Nature designed men to be stronger, more skilled hunters. We are hunter-gatherers. That's what we are. That's what we're evolved from. Men don't have breasts. Men do not have uteruses. Men were not designed to be pregnant. Men were not designed to suckle children. Men were not designed to stay at home in their mama's basement playing Mega Man. That's what they're not designed for. Men are not designed to be playing Call of Duty all day long. Men are designed to be out working. Men are designed to be out hunting. Women were designed to stay home. And that's just how nature intended. So all of the woke crowd can get angry and get triggered at what I'm saying, but guess what? Biology don't lie. Biology doesn't give a shit what you think. It's just how nature intended it. That's just what it was. Men aren't designed to be home breastfeeding. Men aren't designed to be home with their bellies out to here giving birth. That's just not what it's for. That's just not how it is. So if you've got a problem, you can file your complaints with God, or you can file your complaints with, who else do they worship? Buddha. You can file your complaints in some deep dark corner nobody gives a shit about, because nobody's listening. So anyway, she notes that there is nothing wrong with this, and as long as there is a consent and a balance of power, there is no such thing as a balance of power. There's power and there's the powerless. I don't know what you're talking about, lady. And not because I, the immigrant woman, I feel like in order to get citizenship in another better country and secure my children's future, I need to trade my youth or I need to trade my happiness for it. Yes, that's exactly how it is. Nathal Napalo. I can't pronounce that name, and I wouldn't try. Okay, that's it? Oh my God, these people suck as journalists. They're not giving me enough content. These people have this little 3-paragraph bullshit, that's it. So what she really did here was she wrote this short little shit in order to plug her, I guess this is some type of editorial, relationships and wellness at News 24. So here you go, gentlemen. This right here is the problem that modern men are facing. Modern women are, how should I say, going through a phase of righteous indignation where they're angry that, just like she says here, she says, I need to trade my youth or I need to trade my happiness forward. That's where the righteous indignation is coming from. So you have the foreign women who understand that in some of their countries, men refuse to marry them and refuse to procreate with them if they get too old. So they have to sacrifice their youth, which means they have to have children younger, in their 20s. You already know what's coming. You already know exactly what's coming. In Japan and China, you already know what's coming. In China, I'll start with China. In China, they have a term for women who've reached the age where they don't want them as wives anymore. And that age is roughly about 27 years old. They call them, in Chinese, they call them Sheng Yu. Sheng Yu. That means leftover woman. Right? Are you with me so far? Sheng Yu. Leftover woman. And the Chinese men refuse to marry these women at a certain age. Now, the Japanese, oh man, the Japanese, these guys are brutal. These guys are brutal. You see, in Japan, they don't celebrate Christmas the exact same way we celebrate Christmas, giving these wrapped up Christmas gifts. What they do is they actually gift each other cakes.
Don't say it.
Now, we've done that. We have rum cake. Rum cake actually can be pretty good. You got the rum cake, it's soaked in rum, it's baked in rum, it has these little walnuts on it. Well, the Japanese give each other Christmas cakes. Here's the problem. If you get too many of those Christmas cakes, chances are you're not going to be able to eat all that stuff. I mean, the Japanese, these guys are skinny, the women are skinny, they're small, they weigh less than 150 pounds. They're usually like 5'4". So they're not going to eat all those Christmas cakes. So the problem is the Japanese Christmas cake becomes what's called leftover cake. So the Chinese call them leftover women, but the Japanese call it leftover cake. Now, here's the problem though. The Japanese men, they refuse to marry leftover women, or what they perceive to be leftover women. Now, if you were to ask a Japanese man, would he consider marrying a leftover woman, that Japanese man is going to get very upset with you, and he's going to look you square in the eye, and he's going to say, "No! No! What the Christmas kicker? No! 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 What Christmas kicker? Arigatou gozaimasu! No! What the Christmas kicker? No! 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 What the Christmas kicker?" So, it's a tumultuous relationship. The Chinese, the Japanese, even the Koreans. And I will say this, single motherhood has been rising in Korea. I mentioned this a long time ago. In Korea, they have what's called kumfa. Kumfa means the Korean unwed mothers.
This video about to go off. I don't want to make it too long, but dude, he cracks me up every time he does that. He too Japanese accent's good, man. Like, man. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Big Truck Reviews. Oh my goodness, that dude's hilarious, man. What's on the stuff he says. But anyway, yeah, that's fact. I've seen it on some website about different countries and women, and I think I recorded on a video about that. But it was a country in India, and it was like a village all by itself with women all from young to old, and all the men, there were hardly no men around, and they had to pretty much fend for themselves. So he's right about that. It was an article, but there's a video about that too. And the one thing about China and stuff, that's true. In Korea, so yeah, man, these women, American women is gonna humble themselves. They're gonna humble themselves somewhere along the line, because what I mentioned in previous videos. Right now, the American Western women and other Western women, parts of Europe and Canada and places like this, they're wrestling with a little spirit, a Jezebel spirit and a little. So when they do all this stuff, no, we anti-family, we want to assume the role. So men have stepped back. The men have literally stepped back, and now you start to see a trend of men going down getting their passport, and there's gonna be a lot of lonely women across the Western world because of that. You're gonna be seeing so many women like what's with all these women? I'm telling you, and the women that they look down upon in Thailand and Philippines and Vietnam and these other places, they gonna get their man. Them women that come up out of poverty, if they in poverty or whatever, they about to get some help. Because they've been they've been praying for a husband to come and be that companion and help them out in areas of a husband. The women gonna get it. I'm telling you. I mean, they're gonna be a supportive as a husband, a leader. So some women are gonna be left in the dust. I saw this was coming, and I made previous videos on it, and it coming to fact. And with the previous video, why now you see from both sides, men and women saying that, trying to convey it, and people making TikTok videos and everything. And so the people who are asking why, there was one young woman say that she's 24 years old and she's hot. Nobody won't date her. It has nothing to do with you being so good looking. What is the looks are going to fade. What is your personality I got to live next door to? See, some of these young women don't understand that. They don't understand. It's not the looks going to keep the person in the picture. It's your personality. Because, I mean, once you get over the honeymoon, the attractiveness and everything, because as you get older, your body going to change. And then someone going to be next to the... So you're going to go through life. So, and you no matter how much Botox and cosmetic surgery you have, it is what it is. Some people don't want to age, but it's part of life that is in this earth. But anyway, I don't want to be too long on this video. Again, you heard it. You heard the video. So, any women that see this video that's got this kind of mindset that we talk about, this is a warning. I warned before. The exes are starting to go. Now, Mr. Raoul had to show you. The men are gone. They're getting married, building their women houses over in them countries. So hey, but some of them, no matter what, they're stuck with what's gonna happen, man. They're stubbornness. They'll still be defiant and be defiled and be defiant. And then some of them gonna be lonely for the rest of their life, unfortunately. Even God Himself can tell them, trying to show them. They'll still be defiant because there's some women are that far gone and they're defiant. They're stubborn. They don't see it. some women, not all, but some don't even see it, and then when they see it, they don't want to humble themselves to it. That feminist pride, that feminist little spirit, little Jezebel spirit, won't let them do it. That's the truth. So anyway, enough of my little lecture. All right then, you guys have a good one. Be blessed. Until next time, see you on the next video.